The life of the Nexus tablets haven't been all too glamorous. What they have been is decently powered, up to date on the latest software, and affordable. To make it more understandable, you didn't hear the phrase "is that a Nexus 7?" So when Google teamed up with HTC to make the Nexus 9, have they made a much more substantial device to justify the extra expense? To start out, let's take a look at the design and the physical hardware. Unlike the Nexus 7 and Nexus 10, the Nexus 9 comes in the form of a 4:3 aspect ratio tablet. Its design is not very inspiring either. The front is a black slab, with the only hint of HTC build coming from the dual front-facing speakers. The sides show a little bit more inspiration, but flip it to the back and you'll find the same material found on the Nexus 5. It's fine, but it just doesn't have any type of inspiration. And I kinda wish HTC could have had a little bit more design input on this, perhaps bring over some more high quality materials that they implement on their own hardware. Now looking at the specs in more detail, on the front we have an 8.9-inch IPS LCD panel with resolution of 2048 by 1536 with two front-facing speakers on the front and bottom. We also have a 1.6 megapixel front-facing camera. On the left side it's completely clean. On the right side we'll find a power lock switch and a volume rocker. Now these don't offer the greatest feedback at all, and I often push the power button when I tried to adjust the volume. On the top we'll find a 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the bottom you'll find a micro USB port for charging. Now flip this guy on the back and we'll find the 8 megapixel rear facing camera and the LED flash. Internally, we have the Tegra K1 dual-core processor of 2 Denver cores, a 192-core Kepler GPU, and 2 GB of RAM. And for the battery, it's packed with a 6,700 mAh battery. Now, the feel in the hand is nothing too special. It just feels like some kind of 4:3 aspect ratio tablet. But the build quality, on the other hand, is very good. It feels really solid, but just not as nice as other tablets around this price range. Next up is the display of the Nexus 9. While the resolution is nothing groundbreaking, the IPS LCD provides very good color accuracy and very good viewing angles. Now the display is not as vibrant as say a Super AMOLED from Samsung or even Apple's new iPad Air 2 display with their laminated IPS LCD, but it will do the job for the Nexus 9 with crisp looking text and images and a slightly higher PPI than the iPad Air 2. Now the real star of the Nexus 9 is in the software. This is Google's showcase of Android 5.0 Lollipop for tablets, and what that means is this is the tablet with no add-ons, no skins, and no fluff. Apart from the Nexus 7, the Nexus 9 is the only new tablet that currently runs 5.0. The story of Android 5.0 Lollipop is simplicity, refinement, and overall performance boosts. On the Nexus 9, Android 5.0 runs ever so smoothly. Right from the lock screen, things look a little different and also run differently. Notifications are for once interaction friendly. See notification, just double tap to enter them or swipe away to dismiss. And the software, things are familiar but different. The new color scheme is more flat, but also, in my opinion, much more pleasing to the eyes and very user-friendly. The only critique I have about Android 5.0 Lollipop is the single finger versus double finger swipe on the notification tray. I don't think it's very intuitive, and this could be confusing for someone who isn't familiar with Android 5.0 Lollipop. But with Lollipop comes great performance gains. Honestly, my experience with the Nexus 9 has been great. The tablet really chugs along through all the applications and processes with no sweat. I think I've only had a few problems with some Google services, but that is always to be expected when a new software is rolled out. Performance-wise, multitasking, web browsing, high frame rate games, benchmarks, and all the rest run and perform just really well for a dual-core tablet or really any type of tablet. Now, battery life on the Nexus 9 is also pretty standard. The 6,700 mAh battery provides enough juice for a full day of browsing and use, with an average on-screen time of around 9 hours. Standby is also pretty good, it's just not as rock solid as say the iPad Air. I would say an average of 5 to 10% loss per day of standby. Now the Nexus 9 does have an 8 megapixel rear facing camera, and as a tablet camera goes, this is pretty terrible. The images could be passable if you were only to look at them on the Nexus 9, but blow it up on a larger and much more high resolution display and you'll likely cringe. Or maybe not. I'm not exactly sure what camera experience you have, but in my opinion, it's pretty terrible. But just to be safe here, you probably shouldn't use the Nexus 9 for taking your wedding photo. And it also makes you look just a little weird. Or really a lot weird. So the Nexus 9. To wrap it up in a few words, it's probably the best Android tablet around. Probably. And that's not from the hardware or the design. It's all from that software. So if you're still holding on to your Nexus 7, trust me, you're not missing out on all too much. But if you want the best Android tablet you can currently buy on the market, you're gonna have to shell out some money than your usual Nexus device. This will cost you a full $400 for the base 16GB Wi-Fi model, more for high storage capacity and optional cellular connectivity. And honestly, I don't see where the extra money is going towards. But I'll say it again, it's probably the best Android tablet you can currently buy. So make sure to let me know what you guys think about the Nexus 9 in a comment below, and make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. And as always, my name is Marco Hanna, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.